I just want to set the record straight. Not everything is perfect. I mean, these two definitely are not. Each of them is gonna shida zake. For instance, on the iPhone XS, it has a worn out battery with a battery message. And of course, it's gonna mediocre battery life. It also has this third-party display because the original one broke. Now it's not perfect by any means, but we'll definitely get to it. It also has a faulty microphone, and so phone calls are unbearably difficult. A broken SIM card tray, so sometimes how to that iko na SIM card, and a broken charging system. In fact, kuna time ilikuwa so bad that I used to buy a new lightning cable every 2 weeks because somehow the phone somehow kills them. So bad in fact that accessories such as my Holyland Lock M2 would not work. But even at that, the iPhone 15 Pro Max that I have is not perfect. Iko na shida yake moja. I bought it used, and so it has a battery health of just 86%. But yes, that's its only problem. But anyways, iPhone XS to iPhone 15 Pro Max. Holy mother of upgrades. Check it. Of course, the battery life is the biggest upgrade hapa hivi, but badala kuongeongea mingi, let me just show you. Okay, we're at 57%. Hi, let's put on an interesting video. For example, tuseme kama that one. Of course, I had to shameless plug. Let it play, then we'll come back later. In fact, let me set the timer. Alright. Unaona kweli venye mambo iko smooth on the 15 Pro Max. In fact, that is the second reason why this is such a big upgrade over this. But kusema tu kweli, that smoothness is not where it is supposed to be. As in haiko pale inafaa kuwa. This is what I mean. Now, I say it's smooth because it has promotion, which is basically 120 Hz. By the way, I'm never going back. And it has the faster A17 Pro processor. I mean, just look at the numbers. So yes, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is damn smooth, but haijafika. And let me just say it quickly, the problem is iOS 26 and Apple maze, you have to do something fast, please. When I try to change the wallpaper, it stutters big time. When I open the control center, it slightly stutters. When I try to edit the control center, it stutters. Sometimes the keyboard takes 1 or 2 seconds to pop up for some reason. What is this ghosting on light background? Battery saver mode is utterly useless on this iPhone 15 Pro Max, and of course so many other unmentioned bugs and problems. Don't get me wrong, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is still stupid fast and smooth. I mean, for instance, the dynamic island is on steroids. It always feels like it's locked at 120 Hz, even if nieke battery saver mode ama I lock the display to 60 Hz, doesn't matter. Switching hapa na pale between apps is fast and seamless, and it rarely knocks apps off of the memory. And Face ID is so fast that I just use it on almost every app, but overall, haijafika. I am personally on iOS 26.2, which is way faster than iOS 26.1. And pia, don't get me wrong, iOS 26 looks amazing. For instance, I love the stretchy and glassy clock face. These glass notifications actually look better now that they fix the readability issues. Well, in most cases, look at that delicious warp effect. Finally, hata mimi baba, nimengoja sana. And of course, I'm loving the new vibrant 3D and more colorful icons. Na tukiingia Safari, cheki the glass tab hapo chini. More minimalistic and it looks fantastic. Side note, props to Apple for the always on display that, stays always on. And don't get me wrong, it is still a huge upgrade over the iPhone XS. It's stupidly fast and everything, but haijafika baba. And so I am eagerly waiting for iOS 26.3. By the way, newer plug case. Right there, an extra lens. And by the way, everything here is way better than everything here, camera-wise. Most importantly, to me at least, was that ultra-wide lens. I enjoy it just like on the Ray-Bans. I love that wide perspective. Definitely not as sharp as the main and the telephoto, but with enough light. Chef's kiss. Fun fact, the wider, the more stable. I'm not gonna lie, I also love that 5x telephoto. I mean, check it to hapa venye inafanya LD ikae like a city. Other than that, not much to say about it, but it's so damn sharp. Very good to have. Hata unaweza angalia these extra pictures. That's definitely a worthwhile upgrade over the ×2 lens on the iPhone XS. Another reason why everything is better on the 15 Pro Max is that the main lens is upgraded from 12 to 48 megapixels and it has this awesome censorship stabilization. Hiyo sasa ni 4-0 my friend. Check it out, main lens ya hii versus main lens ya iPhone XS. It's worlds apart. And by the way, all lenses are optically stabilized and can shoot up to 4K 60. Imagine including even the selfie camera. This thing is wild. But on the iPhone XS, only the main lens is stabilized. Na hii mbele can only shoot up to 1080p. Yamani. I also rarely use macro mode, but you can't deny it's pretty interesting to have and very fun to play around with. Quick hack. I set my action button to open the camera. On the XS, the mid switch can only be used for silent mode. It cannot be remapped, unfortunately. And log. But it's actually crazy that I can shoot log video, actual log video on a smartphone. Okay, yes, sijaitumia sana because I need an external SSD and a VND to, use story shutter speed 180-degree shutter rule so that I can maximize the use of log, but it's still a good weapon to have in the arsenal. I mean, just overall, the 15 Pro Max's camera system is just cleaner and sharper across. Obviously, iPhone cameras are usually the same-ish, but kumbe skipping 5 generations ahead has such a difference. Who knew? And even the small things are better, like having night mode. I mean, just peep the difference. Having photographic styles, even though personally I've never really used them. And generally just a cleaner, simpler camera OS as part of iOS 26. Huge difference. But of course, it can't be perfect. Because one, personally spend this cinematic mode. Why? Because I've used a camera. And if you used one of these, you realize that edge detection, pale kwa cinematic mode on a phone, just doesn't do it for me. Pia, when you try to switch lenses while using night mode, the camera app just becomes unbearably laggy. I love when you're recording a video and you try to change lenses, your transition is not smooth. Kuna that bump that is very visible and can make your videos jarring sometimes. Other than that, my brother, this is one hell of an upgrade camera-wise as compared to this. It is not even close. Oh, by the way, let's check on our battery test. And it has lost 4% in just 11 minutes of just watching YouTube, which means that in only 4.5 hours of continuous use, the phone will be completely dead. So usually by around 10 AM, nishaanza kutafuta charger. Unaona venye watu sema watu wa iPhone hutumia na either power bank ama charger. This is literally it. I mean, it uses the old lightning cable that's very hard to find unless mtu ako na iPhone 11. It charges very slowly. It kills cables so that I have to buy new cables every fortnight on a comrade's budget in this economy. And when I try to wirelessly charge it, the damn thing overheats. I was like, this is just cooked. But sasa hapa, I can charge it using Type-C. Thank you, Europe. And it charges much faster than my iPhone XS. Niki charge from the USB Type-C output of my laptop, which I usually do. It takes just an hour to jar. And that's no mean feat for an iPhone. And even ikija, that full charge, even at 85% battery health, that is enough to get me throughout an entire day of use comfortably with light use. Ukiangalia pale nimetoka, my friend. But a good number of times, it heats up quite a bit when charging. Not a good sign. Remember, not only can I also wirelessly charge the iPhone 15 Pro Max faster, takes like 1.5 hours to jaza, but also can I use MagSafe. Nice. Of course, we have the usual additions of reverse wired charging. Now, personally, I've never really used it, but for the 1 or 2 occasions whereby a buddy anahitaji ku recharge her AirPods, I can save her. So sasa the battery life is way better here, and I find myself having more juice that I will definitely be responsible and I will not use to doom scroll. Does that sound believable? Whether I'm watching reels, movies, YouTube, or even just playing games, the experience is much better here than here. And that is the 4th reason why this upgrade is just insane. I mean, watching anything is much better on a bigger, brighter screen. I mean, just look at how much more I can see on this website. Sorry, Mr. MKBHD, sir. Games are much more playable. Pia, they are more tolerable. Of course, gonna much more space to work with. And of course, DLS is the poster game. Don't forget that it is made of titanium, which is light but strong. Halafu pia it has the slightly rounded edges, so it's very comfortable to hold. And of course, the speakers are louder, clearer, and bassier, if that's a word. And the experience is also way better for my serial bed routers. I mean, you can watch for longer, because of the more efficient chip and the bigger battery, and the display gets plenty dimmer in complete darkness. So yeah, there's that. Get a life though. Stop bed rotting. I hear you people, you take these things for granted sometimes, but for the first time, personally, I have 5G and the speeds show. Check your speeds, Baba. Check your speeds. Also, don't forget Wi-Fi 6E, just like my Strix, and Bluetooth 5.3 versus plain old Bluetooth 5.0 on the iPhone XS. Though personally, I've never really seen much of a difference in my daily use. And at least at a easy, I can comfortably call someone on speaker and not have them tell me, Sikuski, then just takes away my aura. And finally, the experience is much better because of the VoLTE feature. This feature allows me to use mobile data continuously while still making a phone call. So you can make a phone call, mobile data haikatiki, and that's actually quite an underrated feature. Just before I give you the fifth reason why the upgrade is insane, let me just wacha niseme mbona I did not go for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. And the answer is quite simple, ladies and gentlemen. Mfuko ndo inaongea. I needed a balance between buying an iPhone and buying that Amaron 150C and that new system over there. And I didn't take the iPhone 16 Pro Max because the upgrades from this to the 16 Pro Max need very minor. For example, it's gonna just a few more AI features, which they're half-baked. It's gonna a bigger screen, slimmer bezels, the camera button, of course the newer processor, and that's basically about it. And something about the ultra-wide camera. That's basically it. That is not worth the extra 30 or 40k. And the 14 Pro Max, lightning cables, mazi. Come on, bro. And any other Pro phone was simply too small for me. I had this for a while, so I just wanted to try the bigger size for once. Just a me thing. But anyways, we're down to the last and final reason why this upgrade is insane. That is the dynamic island. My friend, one of the best innovations of all time. Definitely worth the wait. Compared to the notch, it is quite useful because for one, I can use it to quickly change or pause the music. It is also useful because it carries the Face ID animation. And this is personally my favorite animation of the dynamic island. It also shows live activities, i.e. that your location is being used and let's say like hotspot is on. And just look at that torch adjusting animation. It's the small things that matter. It's also really intelligent. For instance, if I need to unlock my phone and I have a route set on maps, it plays the Face ID animation smoothly, then the main pill swallows the root pill. And did I say that it has never hung on me? Not even once. In fact, the dynamic island is so good that other companies like OnePlus started copying it. Unbelievable. Also, I made an animation in After Effects in manifestation. And here we are. I mean, all I can say is that I'm grateful. Why is the flash on? I'm very grateful. The only thing I can do is maybe to change the battery so that I can get a couple of years of it. But I'm sure if I do, I can get a couple of years from it, or use from it. And once again, I'm going to save my faithful and trusty and awesome 512 gig iPhone XS because it was my first iPhone.